All right, so we're gonna be fixing a strut today. Here I have an older wing that isn't broken, but has a weak spot on it. This was the generation 2 or 3 wing, and they tend to break apart easily because they are not 4 millimeters thick and they do not have a wire running through them. So that is the newest upgrade that we have done to our wings. So we're gonna strengthen it, pretending that it is snapped at its spot. So what I'm gonna need is an X-Acto knife, some Loctite or Gorilla Super Glue, anything in a gel form is probably best. Tweezers, scissors, possibly a marker, packing tape, nail file, a little bit of painter's tape, which we're going to unstickify, and most importantly, the piece of plastic sent to you in the mail, or if you have gone to your hardware store, you can look for different things like acetate sheeting. This is kind of on the thick side, and it is a brittle plastic, meaning it snaps and gets sharp edges. It still works because it's got some ridgeability, but something like this isn't going to work because it's too flimsy. My go-to would be this 030 PET G. This is what I'm going to use because this is thin enough, strong enough, flexible enough, and just enough for what my purposes are. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut myself a piece. And that's what's nice about this too, is I can cut it with scissors. I'm only going to go about 2 inches. I don't really need much more than that. Just strengthening this up. I would say you do want like 1 inch on each side of your break, and that's kind of what our goal is here. So where your break is, you want to line this up like 50-50 on each side of your break. And like I said, make sure you have about 1 inch on each side. That's going to be ideal. So the main thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to prepare to cut the cellophane side open, not the vinyl side. So where everything is loose on your strut here, that's the cellophane side. This is what we're going to be cutting. So I would take my piece of plastic and kind of line it up over there 50-50 so I know where to cut. What I'm going to do is just take my X-Acto knife and with gentle pressure just cut the cellophane right there, and then come to the other side and just very gently cut through the cellophane there. I'll use this to hold it, and then I'm going to come right along the edge. Careful, because I'm just trying to cut the cellophane. We're making a flap. We want to remove the cellophane, get it out of our way, so that we can glue that piece of plastic down to it and repair the wing. So, acting like skillful surgeons, we're going to lift this little, hello, there we go. Now, ta-da, we have made a flap. What I want to do now is be able to keep the cellophane out of the way because the glue eats the cellophane. So, what
Cut yourself back here so you can flap it back farther, because otherwise you're going to be limited in your...
I don't want to go through that
Yep.
because that's heat welded, so I can't go any further back
Okay,
on that.
yeah.
What I'm going to do is take my painter's tape and I'm going to de-stickify it. You know, put it on your skin, get some oil stuck to it. Just get that. And that's just enough to hold this up away. That's all I need to do. Just kind of hold that where it is. Now, I've got to make sure that this piece is just right, so I'm going to kind of measure this and see what I need to cut off of it. I want to be just inside the width of the strut. Take my scissors, and that's what's nice about this 030 PET G is it cuts easily with scissors. I can see what I need to take off. Kind of round it slightly. It's not a real round part here. Kind of a straightaway, but most of the wings have a bit of a curve to them. That's looking fairly good there. All I really need to do now is grab my nail file. And the sides, that's a piece that I sent you, it'll be the same material. But if you've gone to the hardware store and gotten anything that's an acetate or an acrylic sheet, it's going to be kind of rigid and you don't want it to cut through. Take your corners off. So we all have emery boards, nail files, something like that we can work with, or even a piece of sandpaper. Just get rid of those corners, make sure it's not sharp. Nothing to it, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, I'm going to set it back on here again. I actually want to take this little rounded part off. I don't need that. Straighten that up a little bit more. check. I'm right over that area. That works, nothing to cut. All right, so now I'll remove this, and now we want to get our glue on. Just up there where I can pick it up. And try not to go too crazy with the glue. Keeping it away from the edges. Smear this around a little bit. And there we go, that's about what you need. I'm gonna take my plastic and just kind of drop it right down on top of the glue and get it set up right over it and hold it down for a few seconds till it solidifies. And that grabs pretty fast because it's super glue. I'm gonna let that be for a couple of minutes, and anything that's oozed out, I'm just gonna take a paper towel and wipe that off of there. Again, careful to not get it on the cellophane. All right, so glue is all set up. We're good, we're dry. A little bit of excess of what was over here was tacky. I wiped that off with a paper towel. Now we are safe to close up our cellophane. So I'm gonna grab tweezers because without tearing the cellophane, and that's why we stuck it to our oily hand. Now we're good and safe to put the cellophane back where we got it. So next part, how we are going to attach this back down is with our packing tape. Little trick, take an envelope, you can take any piece of paper, and just kind of give yourself a shape. I don't care if you want to go straight, we can even use the straight side with this. You want to come out about this far away from where you're going to be taping, because you don't want your tape stuck to your wing. You're going to see it otherwise. You also don't want fingerprints. So where you go to take your tape to your dispenser, you're going to get fingerprints on the top and on the bottom. So what I have to do is I'm going to need to come from this side. So I'm going to use the table. I'm going to put that on the table. I'm going to take this. I'm going to pull my cellophane down and pull my piece of tape down. And stick that down right there. Now this is where my cut of the cellophane was, so I'm about a centimeter past that. I'm going to do that again one more time on this side. Same situation. I'm going to line that up over here. Put that on the table. Smooth my cellophane down. Down on the paper again, so I'm not taping to my wing, and go past, and for me it was about a centimeter past my cut again, which is nice. Now if you were to tape here, it's going to be slightly noticeable on the wing, not dramatically but slightly. Now you have a dip down for the profile of the strut right here, which on these is 2 millimeters. So what I want to do is cut far enough away that it will cover this little ledge of the strut, as well as you do want it to touch the vinyl side of the wing panel so it has something to attach to. I just don't want it to come out this far. Now if you have a little pair of cuticle scissors, that would be really helpful, but I'm going to use big scissors because that's what everybody has. So I'm just going to come through here, giving myself probably about a half a centimeter. I do not recommend using an X-Acto knife because you're going to go right through your wing otherwise. Use scissors. Go slow because you're going to get stuck like I just did. And voila. Now, press your cellophane down and then come along that edge. Voila! There we go. So, not super noticeable. There's no fingerprints on the tape either because we use the paper. So now we have a nice clear piece of packing tape, and it's going to make this a lot less noticeable for our repair. Now you're going to do the same thing basically for the top piece. What I want to do here is I'm going to, I guess I will start from this side. Let's move this tape up because I want to flip the wing over. Alright, I'm going to flip the wing over. Do the same thing over here. I think I'm just going to turn that upside down so there's no sticky that way. I want to keep that away from there. I'm just going to smooth this tape down. And then I'll come up and cut the tape here. Close, but not too far away. That off the fingers. And then same thing, I'm going to press it to the ledge. And smooth that little tiny ledge onto the wing itself, onto the clear part here. And voila! Alright. We have restructured our wing panel and given it extra strength where it either snapped or became weak. So now we won't be able to break her. And she's good to go. That's how you repair a wing strut.